I'm always in awe being in a landscape like this. There's something about hearing the sounds, seeing the sights, that just remind you how important it is to be in touch with this world. It just kind of forces itself on you, that introspection.
Beartooth Mountain Ascent takes place on my family's ranch. We have young men that come with anxiety and depression as well as substance abuse issues. We want each person to become the best version of themselves. We want them to be who they are. It's through the process of working with other persons in nature, in creation, that that authentic self gets discovered.
Everything that we see is doing God's will perfectly. Everything that God has created does His will perfectly except one, and that's us. You put them into creation, we go up into the mountains, we put them on a horse, we have them in front of cattle, pushing the cows. Our program is designed to discern, truly, where these men's gifts are and help them to come to realize what they are, actuate them, and send them on their way with those gifts firmly held in their hands and hearts.
Before I came out here, it was tough. I started with prescription pills and ended up with harder stuff.
I wouldn't do things because I was afraid that me giving my whole was not enough, that it wasn't good enough. I just couldn't stand that.
And many of these guys have totally isolated themselves from the very people that love them the most. You have to give them something greater to think about, that's a part of them.
This work with youth has really been a passion of my family. My mom and dad started helping at-risk teenage boys in 1992. My husband and I work with the young adult men ages 18 to 28, and then my dad and mom and my brothers Matt and Mark work with the teenage boys ages 10 to 17.
Creation formation is a very pinnacle aspect of our program, which is a time where they're pulled away from their computers, their phones, and slow them down a little bit in the process of creation. The more you're in it, the more you're slowed down in that creation, it prevails over everything if we allow it to. Then what it does is starts to bend us and spin us and move us back into a kind of a unity, and in the process of doing that become more introspective, start thinking about some of the things that are going on within themselves. It's a neurological surgery done out here in creation. It seems kind of crass and base, but it's doing these really fine-tuned things to the person.
And one of our goals is to help the young men realign that need for excitement and adventure and to find healthy outlets for that. And what that does is really a reordering within the person to help them find balance. They need to go beyond themselves. And that's why nature is so powerful, is because God's given it to us for a purpose, and that it's meant to be shared to help others, and nature naturally draws us out of ourselves. I'm very passionate about work in the area of equine therapy and life coaching, and I find that combining the two is a tremendous tool for self-discovery.
I had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to think of where I went wrong and where I should have been. A long day on the saddle was probably my best for all of that, because in between pushing cows, you're out there. There'd be days where we'd be riding for 7 hours, and I spent 3/4 of it thinking about my past and what I want to do in my future.
Climbing the mountains, being in this landscape, teaches you that even if you are a small player, you can still make a big difference. You can still conquer those mountains.
We see them unshackle from the prison that they created.
All of a sudden they discover that I can beat this, I'm not powerless against it, and there is hope.